to Citizenship Test Prep. This series is based on the 128 questions that were recently released. If you registered after October of 2025, these are the questions that you need to use. And in this section, we're going to do questions 51 through 75. Sounds good. So let's do that. I'll ask the question, give a pause, give the answer, and then a little discussion if I think that there's anything necessary. So here we go. What does a judicial branch do? It has a lot of things that it does, but reviews laws seems to be the easiest one. My students go with that one most. You can do any one of those four. Reviews laws, explains laws, resolves disputes, and decides if a law is unconstitutional. You just need to pick the one that's easiest for you to remember. Highest court in the United States. This one has a star. It's one of the 65 and over questions. That would be the Supreme Court. How many seats are on the Supreme Court? 9. How many Supreme Court justices are usually needed to decide a case? That's 5, which would be one more than half of the 9. How long do Supreme Court justices serve? It's a lifetime appointment, so they either retire or they stay until they can't do it anymore, but it's their decision. There's no re-election or anything like that. They are appointed and they stay. Supreme Court justices serve for life. Why is that? Well, it's supposedly so they are independent of politics. So they don't have to worry about elections. They don't have to worry about picking this or this. They're just supposed to focus on the Constitution. So that's why they are not. It's supposed to be a non-political position. Who is Chief Justice of the United States now? In September of 2025 and beginning of 2026, it's John Roberts. Name one power that is only for the federal government. Number to choose from here: print paper money, mint coins, declare war, create an army, make treaties, set foreign policy. You can choose the one that you want. Most of my students pick the money ones, either print paper money or mint coins. It seems the easiest for them to remember. Name one power that's only for the states. Well, the states do things like provide schooling and education. They have police protection, fire departments. The one that my students know the best, though, is the driver's license. They give a driver's license. They also do things like approve zoning and land use. You need one of those. What's the purpose of the 10th Amendment? So the 10th Amendment says this: powers not given to the federal government belong to the states or to the people. So if it doesn't explicitly say it in the Constitution that the federal government has this power, then the states or the people have those powers. So because they couldn't cover everything, so they give the states, they give the federal powers, and then they give the states powers everything else. So it's subject to interpretation, but generally speaking, that's how it works. Who's the governor of your state now? I'm doing this in Nebraska, so my answer might be different from yours. And it's Jim Pillen in the state of Nebraska. If you're not in Nebraska, you'll have to look that up. Capital of your state, same. I'm using Nebraska as my source, and that is Lincoln. Easy to find on the internet. Just look on a map or ask for the states and its capital. There are 4 amendments to the United States Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. So these are kind of in order that they came. The first one was any citizen can vote. And then it was a male citizen of any race can vote. And then you didn't have to pay a poll tax. And probably the easiest one is you have to be 18. And that's, I think, the easiest one to explain and the easiest one to understand. But any one of those 4 would work. Who can vote in federal elections, run for federal office, and serve on a jury in the United States? Citizens. That is a right and a duty that you have when you become a citizen. You can vote and do those other things as well. What are the 3 rights of everyone living in the United States? You have these different freedoms. We have expression, that is saying what you believe. Speech is just being able to talk about things. Assembly means you can get together. Petition the government, you can ask questions, write letters, things like that. Religion, you can choose to practice religion or choose to not practice religion. And bear arms means you have the right to bear arms based on the Second Amendment. And that's just like owning a weapon. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? And this one has a star, so it's an over 65 question. That would be the United States or the flag. It starts out, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. So either one of those would be acceptable. 2 promises that new citizens make in the oath of allegiance. They choose to give up loyalty to other countries, defend the U.S. Constitution, obey the laws of the United States, serve in the military if needed, or serve or help the nation if needed, especially if you are not willing to serve in the military, or females don't serve in the military in a combat force. And then be loyal to the United States. You need 2 of those. How can people become United States citizens? There's a couple of ways. One is if you're born here, 14th Amendment says that you're a citizen. You can study and take the test, which most of you are probably doing if you're watching this video. That's called naturalization. Or derive citizenship under conditions set by Congress. And I honestly don't know what that means. I think it is naturalized, but that's how most people do it. What are 2 examples of civic participation? So this would be taking part in government and in the country. There's a lot to choose from. You can vote. That's a big one. Join a political party. Join a civic group. Run for office. Help with a campaign. Join a community group. Contact elected officials. Write to a newspaper. Support or oppose an issue or policy. And give an elected official your opinion on an issue. Any 2 of those. Vote is usually a pretty easy one. Write to a newspaper is not as common as it used to be, but it's an easy one to remember. One way Americans can serve their country. This is often hard for my students, but the easiest answer is vote. If you vote, obviously pay taxes and obey the law, serve in the military. Those are all good, but vote is a great way to do it. And it's a pretty easy answer to remember. Why is it important to pay federal taxes? There's a few reasons. 1, it's required by the law. And 2, all people do that to pay for funding the federal government. It is required by the Constitution, the 16th Amendment, and it's your duty as a citizen to pay your taxes. Why is it important for all men aged 18 through 25 to register for the Selective Service? They want one reason. That is, it's required by law and it's civic duty. That is where you sign up on your 18th birthday if you're a male, and you make yourself eligible for the draft, which is being chosen to serve in the military. There is not currently a draft. If there was, that would be where they would get that list of names. Colonists came to America for many reasons. Name 1. Freedom, political liberty, religious freedom, economic opportunity, and to escape persecution. Those are all related, but they all would be acceptable. 74, who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? This is a starred question for over 65, and that would be the American Indians or Native Americans. That's the same grouping with different words. So you could use either one that you wanted. And the last one in this group, what group of people was taken and sold as slaves? It would be Africans or people from Africa. And that takes us from questions 51 through 75. Hopefully this is helping. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below and I'll read them. Otherwise, watch for more videos to help you study for that test. Good luck.